Hello, today we're going to look at how to use Power Query to grab individual data from different Excel spreadsheets that are all housed in one folder. There's many different use cases for this, so it's really exciting. The first use case I can think of is, hey, you've got data that's spitting out a weekly report from a system. You can now just drag and drop that CSV file in the same folder, and we can use Power Query just to pick up that data week after week. Another example is if you have sales folks that all have their individual sales forecasting file, for example, and you can house them all in the same folder, and we can bring all of that data together using Power Query. Let's head on over to the Excel spreadsheet. Just a quick recap, what is appended data? That's what we're going to be doing today. Appending data is taking data that's in a similar format and stacking it on top of each other. So as you can see really quick, there is the exact same headers on both of these sales files. One's a California sales data, one's Arizona sales data. And over here's our appended data. So the California data is on top and Arizona data is right down here on bottom. We're going to be doing this, but this individual data is all going to be housed in separate locations and separate files. I've got 3 different Excel spreadsheets all housed in the same folder, and they're all going to be set up very similarly. This is an important piece of this. The files have to be set up the same. Just take a quick peek at what the base data looks like. As you can see, each of these files contain a table. The tables name sales and the sheets name sales. And they have sales order data with date, product, product category, customer, quantity, unit price, and sales for each of these different files. Now let's go back to our main sheet right here. And I'm going to launch the Power Query editor to get all of this data from these different files into one place. So to launch Power Query, we go to the Data tab. We go to Get Data. Right down here it says Launch Power Query Editor, and this pops up right here. We have a blank editor right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to the Home tab, and we're going to grab our data by selecting New Source, that drop down right there. The source is going to be coming from a file, and we're going to select Folder. This pops up your folders on your computer, and you can go find your folders. Click on the folder we want to use in this case and select Open. The really cool part is Power Query does a lot of this work for you. So as long as your files are set up the same way and there's consistency there, you won't have much of a problem appending this data. Power Query is showing me now, hey, I found 3 different files in this folder and I can check them. Yep, we're good to go. And I'm going to click Combine and Transform Data. There's a few different options here, but I'm going to ask it to combine it for me. I'm pretty confident my data is set up the right way. So we're going to combine, transform. It's going to load it into here. It's going to do a lot of steps for us. What it's going to do, it's going to extract data from each file, and then it's going to append each of those data tables. Power Query is now asking me, hey, where do I want to grab the data from? So there's 2 different data types in here. This data type right here is a sheet. So that's just referring to all data on that specific sheet. Right up here, this is referring to a data type table. The sheet and the table name are actually the same in this case, so it can get a little bit confusing, but I want to grab from the table. It's set up in a table format. If I didn't have that data set up in a table format, I'd want to grab from the sheet. So if you're doing like a CSV download, I would select this bottom one right here. You're not even going to have a table option. I'm going to select OK. So this is just asking me, this is giving me a preview file. I can select any of them. It's giving me a preview of, hey, where do you want this data to come from? And as you can see now, I've got 3 different sources. I've got my Arizona, my California, and my Washington. This is coming from the name of the table. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and change this up so we only see the state name over here. To do that, I'm going to select the column name up here, go to the Transform tab, and we're going to go to the Extract down here. And I want to extract the text before the delimiter. I'm going to specify what the delimiter is in this case, and the delimiter is going to be sales.xlsx. So I'm going to type in sales.xlsx. I'm going to put a space before the sales because I want to extract just the name of the state. Select OK. And in that case, it cleaned it up for us, which is awesome. So easy naming conventions are important when using this type of data. So let's check this out, make sure we've got everything we want in here. I'm going to double click and rename this state. I've got order ID, date, product category, unit price, total sales. Looks like everything loaded just fine in here. And at this point, I'm going to close and load my data and get it back into Excel so I can check this out. So I'm going to go close and load to. As you can see, Power Query made a lot of different separate queries and helper queries for us. So I'm going to say connection only right now because I only want to load this bottom query. So I'm going to right click down here and now go load to, create pivot table report. I'm going to select right here and select OK. Now let's see if I want to do state and total sales just to check out total sales by state really quick here. And we can obviously add any of these in. So I'm going to do product category by state by total sales. Now, hey, I just got a new region added to my sales demographic. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to dump a new workbook in here. I'm going to dump a workbook for Alaska in here. Now I've just kind of something to keep in mind. You got to make sure it's formatted the exact same way. So I would copy this original one, create a new file for Alaska, dump it in here. Now, how do I get my Alaska data in here? Well, since we set it up to grab data from a file and not an individual Excel spreadsheet, it's super cool. All you have to do is right click and select refresh. And boom, my Alaska data is in here because now it's grabbing all of the table data from that file. I hope you found this video useful and helpful, and I hope you find creative ways to now use this in your everyday Excel.